Oh, this news might be huge! Greetings and salutations, fellow Vita Islanders. I am James with PS Vita at 2 AM, coming at you once again with another exciting video. And if you're new here and love everything PlayStation Vita, don't forget to subscribe. The PlayStation 5's release is getting oh so much closer, so much so that I can practically feel it. Oh wait, I'm just sitting on my Butterfinger again. And since it is coming so close, as we can expect, there are tons of rumors circulating the internet. I mean, it's kind of getting ridiculous at this point. Hold the phone, this is a PlayStation Vita channel. Why in the world am I talking about the PlayStation 5 all of a sudden? This is heresy! And yeah, you'd be correct, but there was a major leak that happened earlier this week that not only was regarding the PlayStation 5, but the PlayStation Vita as well. The plot thickens. So I figured I would share some of that info with you guys. Now, of course, before I begin, I have to stress here, as mentioned, these are only rumors. There is nothing officially confirmed, so I just want you to have that mindset going into this video. But if this ends up being true, everybody's gonna have to end up changing their underwear. First bit of news here comes from a user on Reddit who has sent a PlayStation survey, and was confirmed by others that they received one as well. Now, surveys like this get sent all the time to users. What makes this a bit more special, though, is the fact that Sony seems to be heavily implying on remote play. Oh, I think we all know where this is going, do we not? That's what a big chunk of the questions on the survey were about, at least according to this user. They were asked questions such as the ability to use PS4 remote play on devices without an internet connection, the ability to view all devices currently using remote play to select the video game quality audio for devices you plan to use PS4 remote play on, and this one, which was really funny, the ability to play PS4 remote play on more devices, i.e. Nintendo Switch, Apple TV, Android TV. Okay, and I know that line right there sounds crazy, but keep in mind that when companies send out surveys like this, it's natural for them to mention their competitors. That's not anything out of the ordinary. And here's where some of the questions get a little bit more interesting. A slim, portable DualShock controller that is easier to carry on the go. You hear that, guys? On the go. Oh, they're using our lingo now. Provide access to exclusive accessories or maps only found with play on PS4 remote play. And many others, as you see here. I don't want this video to drag on too long, but they asked a lot of questions about remote play. Okay, now all of these questions were regarding the PlayStation 4. What does this have to do with the PlayStation 5 now, and in particular, the Vita? That's where this next major leak comes in, and yes, I do feel this is a major leak. Is it my favorite major leak? Oh wait, I already made that joke in another video. The next article here comes from BGR.com, who, and I just want to say this up front, got this info from 4chan. And I know, it's 4chan, but there have been some truths that have come from the website in the past. That's why I'm going to share this with you. And this is the hugest one of all. You know, as far as the potentialness goes. You guys can't see it, of course, but I'm doing an evil villain smile right now. The title goes as such: some of the PS5's biggest surprises were just ruined by a huge leak. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details regarding the PlayStation 5 because, you know, we're all really here just for the PlayStation Vita, but I will have both of these sources cited in the description below for you to read at your own leisure. It goes on to say different things like the price point of the PlayStation 5, which seems accurate to me, as well as its internal hard drive, yada 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 yada. But the part that got me the most interested was the backwards compatibility part of the article. And this is what it said. I'm already getting excited here, guys. Can I contain my excitement before reading this? Backward compatibility. The leaker touched on backward compatibility, claiming that it'll be a huge deal on the console. The PS5 will be able to play all the existing PS4 titles, which makes sense, and Sony is working on adding support for as many old games as possible, going back as far as to the PS1. Even compatibility with PSP and Vita games is supposedly in the works. Oh, I think I gotta say that again just to make sure I said it right. Even compatibility with PSP and Vita games is supposedly in the works. Let's continue. Expect PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and 4 games available to purchase and play on PS5 at launch. The full PS4 catalog will be available, but libraries will be limited for other platforms to begin with. Which again, yes, that makes sense. More games will be added as time goes on, in much the same way Microsoft did. You will actually see a lot more old school games supporting higher frame rates, maybe even Vita games, 4K resolution, and HDR. On PS5, 5 that has been possible on Xbox One. Sony are very much concerned about saving old games from older platforms. They have the first Gran Turismo game running on PlayStation 5 at 120 frames per second, with ray tracing enabled. It looks surprisingly great for a 22-year-old game. And here's where it gets even more exciting, guys! Backwards compatibility for PSP and Vita are also in development, with Sony aiming to have both available within 2 years of the system launching. No. I gotta do my best. I gotta take a more mature approach here now, because this is serious business. Which, yes, I can kind of believe that because, you know, it's the PSP and Vita, and particularly the Vita, which Sony has never been really, big on to begin with. Boy, is that ever the understatement of the decade. And I have no idea why I sounded like a robot there. So the fact that this isn't going to be available at launch and will be available at a later date, I can see that happening. Also, gotta bring up something here. I find it weird too that both of these leaks have happened so close together. And if you were to ask me, I believe that those remote play questions that Sony asked for the PlayStation 4 were really for the PlayStation 5, because as we all know, Sony has been very hush-hush regarding the PlayStation 5, and I think they're really asking for info on that. No confirmation there, just speculation on my part, which in hindsight makes a lot more sense considering that Sony had actually acknowledged the Vita in that remote play video that they released towards the end of last year. That comment section though, am I right? In fact, and I know some of you guys here might think I'm crazy by saying this, and it might be kind of a stretch admittedly, but I have a feeling we may have a small grain of chance that Sony might give us remote play for the PlayStation 5 on the PlayStation Vita. I'm just calling it right now, because the way things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if they were to do that. And you gotta think of it from a business standpoint. If I was Sony, for instance, well, I actually would have supported the Vita and even made a successor to it, but since they already have acknowledged that they're not going to be doing that, much to our chagrin, Sony, much to our chagrin, wouldn't it make sense to at least use the assets that you have available to you? I mean, the PlayStation Vita is out there, it has the ability to do remote play, so why not just make it compatible with your newest system? It would take the least amount of effort. I mean, you wouldn't have to worry about taking a financial risk or anything like that. And if this does end up being true, it kind of makes me wonder, what PS Vita games will they choose to be compatible with it? Especially since there was a lot of porting going on during the PlayStation Vita era that it had with like PS3 games and whatnot. Kind of makes me wonder about their selection here. Obviously first-party titles, but what others? And we can only assume the PlayStation 5 is going to have all the same bells and whistles that the PlayStation Vita has had, and then some. So it'll make all of those PlayStation TV non-compatible games more compatible with it. And hopefully even the ones that were intentionally locked out. As far as the rumor aspect goes, I normally don't cover stuff like this on the channel. It's one of the reasons why I didn't cover that whole PlayStation Vita 2 cartridge patent. There was all the hubbub last year, because I just didn't find that one to be very convincing, especially considering that patent was made by the individual who made that Sony toy. But anyway, I've rambled on enough in this video. I just found these leaks very fascinating, and again, I just gotta reiterate here, guys, once more, that these are all just rumors and speculation. And I'm assuming that we're probably not gonna hear anything official until the next State of Play, probably sometime getting closer to E3, would be my best guess. And if there's one thought I can leave you here with, it's this. Sony obviously wants to make the PlayStation 5's debut a real crusher to its competition, so wouldn't it not make sense to make the system compatible with as many platforms from the past as possible, especially since backwards compatibility is such a big deal these days? I think it really does. I really do. Came up with that idea all on my lonesome. We can tell. Disembodied voice, I didn't know you were here. But let me know your perspective on this. Those were all my tinfoil hat theories. What are yours? Do you think any of these rumors have any sort of base in reality? Do you think they're all fake? Do you think some of them have a chance? Let me know down in the comments section. And as always, fellow Vita fans, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It really means a lot to me. Love you all, and I'll see you next time. The following video has been brought to you in part by all of these wonderfully generous people, including Matt Fox, Reiko Star, Neo Arashi, Jace Bellerin, Hero Acer, BMF, Phantom XRS, Saul Ramirez, Ruben Gutierrez, Adam Sondi, Dennis R. Huggins Jr., Joshua Williams, Kyle Brooks, JR, Jared Hadeau, Richard Cruz, E-Rock, Kevin Enright, Buzz Sayin, Pierce Sterner, Heston Joseph, Jelle, Adam Theory, Aaron Swanson, Mario Cruz, Larry Anderson, Rodrigo Vera, Skullshrutugel TCG, and David Ray. If you yourself would be interested in supporting the channel, check the links down in the description below. I have numerous ways for you to do so down there. And you'll get your lovely portrait at the end of this video. And, yeah. Man, these backer promos of mine are getting worse by the day.